Unapologetically T, and I am back with another video. I wanted to do a video because I did a little, I mentioned it in one of my other videos about Hitler, and I touched a little bit about Jews. I also touched on Jews being black, and I don't take that back. And I also touched on Jewish people, and these are generalizations. This is not a depiction of all Jewish people. I feel like we have to say these things when it comes to white passing people because they have fragile feelings. And you know, we've lived in a world where it was fuck our feelings, but I constantly have to find myself like being so careful in what I say. So literally, I really don't give a fuck. I'm being funny right now if you can't pick up that shit. Like, my daughter would tell me, like, you raised me off sarcasm. Yes, I did, sweetheart. Yes, I did. And it made you who you are today. Like, but literally, life all started out black. I keep saying this, like, genetically coding. This is scientific. This is scientific. Life started out black. Science has proven so far that, you know, the oldest life form they can find right now at this moment literally originated in Africa. We all share that same mitochondrial DNA of that woman. And I wanted to do a video on, and I'm just saying that little spiel for any Jewish people who want to argue ever. Just calm down and know where you came from. All right, so literally, we were taught, and I think it's not just African Americans, but I do remember I had a history teacher, and like these words stuck with me. And she was like, I hate how black kids, and she didn't say hate, she said she disliked how black kids, they learn about the Holocaust and they have all this empathy, but when they're taught about slavery, it doesn't show up the same. And even though I knew where her sentiments was coming from and all that shit, it wasn't our fault. What she should have been teaching us is that the white man has tricked you into believing that the Holocaust was one of the worst atrocities ever committed. It doesn't mean that it wasn't one of them, but it does mean that it wasn't the only one, and it wasn't the worst of the worst. Literally, to clear up all this shit, I wanted to make a video on, and I don't know how long it's gonna be or how brief it's gonna be, but I wanted to make a video on how literally they ought to, and they should have this thing about remembering what happened to them and their ancestors and what happened over there in Germany. And 2 million Jews died. I know the shit by the back of my motherfucking hand. Like, cause that was one of the things as a child when I learned about it, I was interested in it. So I learned about the Holocaust. I learned about, you know, what happened. However, what they don't teach us is Hitler learned what the fuck he did to the Jews from America. Hitler learned what the fuck he did to the Jews from America. And I say that with so much fucking compassion and conviction because they won't tell you that shit when you're learning this shit in school. They won't tell you that what happened to you was fucked up and foul. They won't tell you what happened to your ancestors was fucked up and foul and you shouldn't forget it. They will tell you that shit happened so many years ago when slavery just ended 100 and some years ago. So stop talking about when it started and talk about when the fuck it just ended. Like, for me, that's 2 generations away because of how my parents were born. My parents were born literally in the 50s. That's 2 generations away. That's not a lot of generations away for me and for other living people on this earth. It's not a lot of generations away. We still have pictures of your motherfucking ancestors taking pictures of us being lynched. We still have pictures of your ancestors literally boycotting schools, and those motherfuckers are the same grown-ups that are in politics at this day. Those are the same grown-ups that are in these positions literally working with you to this day. It wasn't that far ago. They literally make shit, the pictures from the 1960s and 50s, black and white when they didn't have to. Color came into play in the 1950s, around that time. They didn't have to make those pictures black and white, but you know why they kept them black and white? so that you can think that the time period is different. It wasn't that far away. And so if a motherfucker ever tell you that shit happened a long time ago, you tell them that they're lying. You tell them that they're mistaken. You tell them to go sit the fuck down and go read a book. That's what you tell them. Anyway, Hitler got his shit from the motherfucking Americans. He got his shit from the Americans. They used to experiment on our ancestors, like literally no anesthesia, like was experiment on our uterus, all that shit, just about everything they know about us as humans, they experimented on black people, the mentally insane, gay people. They also like people who have mental insane, but also people who were like handicapped, disabled, like mentally, they called it that word, but I'm not calling it that, but like people who had mental delays or mental issues. Even people like me, they would consider like, you know, special. Like they would literally experiment on the people that they would consider disenfranchised from society. And a lot of the people were black people. The majority of the population that got experimented on were black people. To this day, it is a lot of black people getting experimented on. Like literally to this day. But we don't have these conversations and we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. Hitler learned a lot of shit from Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger, the lady who literally devised the plan to inoculate fucking black children off the planet of this earth. Like, she's responsible for Planned Parenthood. I have told y'all that I finally made a stance that I believe in pro-choice. I understand from a moral aspect, even in my own moral complex, I will not be taking the life of any other children that come through this vessel. However, I do believe that children are being born into this world that are literally being fed to a foster care system, are literally being fed to human trafficking with these adoption systems, and they're not even in situations where it is loving and caring all the time. So I literally am not going to advocate for children to be brought in this world and then we literally kill them, we literally kill them after they get grown and we think they're monsters, when literally the woman who was supposed to bring this life in denied it. She rejected it. She didn't want it. So I'm literally pro-choice. Yes, morality wise and my moral compass, I think that it is wrong. However, I think it is more wrong to bring children in this world and literally don't care for them, don't get them love and all that shit. So to me, it's like you got your own cause. So if you're pro-life, you got your own cause, you do it, you stay on your side, and you know, I support and love you from your stance, but I also don't believe in policing people's bodies. So you know, I think duality can exist in that, for me anyway. For some people it can. So this lady in particular though, she literally had a whole plan about eugenics for certain parts of the population, and in particular black women. So that's why I can't get down with Planned Parenthood. You only find Planned Parenthood in the hood. I can't get down with it. And she is the legacy of that. Her legacy was known. We didn't know about it, but her legacy was known to white folks. She was not a saint. She was a sinner. And not the good kind. She was that pure evil sinner. Because who the fuck told this white bitch she needed to police black babies? And now you see a crisis of their fertility is fucked up. That's why they're pushing that they don't want us to abort our babies. It's not because they care about us aborting our babies. They're pushing that shit because they want more white people to have babies. They want us to have more babies to fuel that system. They want us to do that. And it's confusing because there's a part of this world who knows that population is out of control and they don't want no more babies. So they're literally fucking with the fertility. They're fucking with the fertility of the people that can't afford certain foods and shit. But they're trying to increase the fertility for other populations of people. And so you still see her legacy playing out in modern day terms, modern day times. Hitler won't just filling ladies up with cement and all that shit. Like, if you really did investigate and hear about the things that was done to the Jewish community during those times, like, it was fucked up shit happening. It happened to us too before it happened to them on that scale. Nobody talks about what happened to us. They cover it up and they don't release information for like years and years and years, generations and generations, and then they talk about it because they don't want to pay us our reparations. They could never repay us anyway, but they could at least start somewhere. They done paid back everybody else in this goddamn planet but us, but black people, and they have fucked us all. They have fucked us all. They have made the whole world hate us. Hitler learned what he learned from the American government, the American people that were in control, the American scientists who unethically experimented on us, the American doctors. Literally, we just had the situation with Henrietta Lacks where you stole her motherfucking, her stem cells and her DNA and was manipulating it to cure cancer. And you didn't even want to pay her motherfucking family. And so black people are taught to feel sorry for every fucking body on this planet but us. We're taught to feel sorry for every fucking body on this planet. We're taught to fight everybody's cause but ours. That shit is over with. Y'all motherfuckers have got off on the black people fighting y'all causes for far too long. You gonna fight ours. You gonna fight ours. You gonna fight ours. You gonna fight with us, or you gonna get left behind. Like, because nobody talks about King Leopold and how he killed 20 million motherfucking Congolese people. Nobody talks about that motherfucking genocide. Nobody talks about the Rwanda genocide and how, yes, it was the Africans fighting against the Africans, but however, who the fuck was perpetrating it? Even the American government is guilty in the bloodshed of that. Nobody talks about that shit though. What's happening in Palestine? The American government has a role in that shit. Israel ain't nothing. The Zionist Jews in Israel are nothing but fucking colonizers. They're colonizers. They're modern day colonizers that nobody is putting a stop to. You know what their number one import is? Or export, excuse me. I think it's what they're taking out. However, they don't have any fucking mines. They don't have any diamond mines, but diamonds. So where are they getting these diamonds from? Oh, they're training Africa like every other motherfucking white European country on this planet. They're literally colonizing different planets. I mean, not different planets, but different lands and nations, and they're stealing all the resources, and they're the ones becoming rich off of them. Bitch, if you don't stop playing with us, we see straight through you. Like, if you want us to care about y'all, you gonna have to care about us. If you can't care about us, we can't care about y'all no more. And it's just as simple as that. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. Because what the fuck Hitler did to the Jews was an atrocity. It was a motherfucking atrocity. And we watched as white on white, well, it was really white on mixed crime happen. Because you had a level of Jewish people who are both black and white passing. All you gotta do is go visit the Holocaust Museum and you can look at the motherfucking features of the people. All you have to do is read some religious texts and learn about the regions of the people during those times, and you'll know who the fuck is who. But we're so brainwashed. We're so brainwashed, and that doesn't mean that Jews as in their current state are not Jews. It doesn't mean that either. Y'all have to use discernment with this shit. Our genetic code encodes all this shit. Fairer skin, lighter features, lighter color features are recessive genes. In order to have a recessive gene, you have to have a dominant gene. The only real race that exists on this planet is the human race. But we walking around here identifying each other by colors because these motherfuckers done tricked us out of our intelligence and got us looking at the darker hue man, hue as in color, man, looking at him as he's the problem when the whole time the corporate has been hiding and parading around in a different skin suit. That's all. We're skin suits. We're skin suits, and basically, like, we get caught up on the skin suits. And I know why. That's why I said when I first started these videos, I will not be acting like I don't see color. I see color, bitch. I grew up and seeing color. I live in a society who made it known I had to see color. So I'm not going to pretend like I don't see color. But I do judge people based off how the fuck they act. I base them off their character. Because I know that I grew up seeing color. I grew up seeing different fucked up people and all these different divided ass groups we created. I see corruption in all of it. I see good in all of it. Like, so you can't trick me with all that little bullshit y'all that cause us divide and conquer. Like, you literally in the textbook y'all tell us divide and conquer. When I went to the motherfucking Holocaust Museum, it was in the Holocaust Museum. Divide and conquer. Read. It's right there in our face. It's right there in our face. It's right there in our face. Another misconception is that, like, Jewish people have been a part of the cause for black people, but however, I don't feel like they utilize their power as much as they can for us. They do a lot of civil and community work, but the ones who actually wield power, I don't feel like they wield enough power for us. And if you only are looking out for you, literally, history gonna repeat itself. It's not just about remembering what happened to you. It is remembering what happened to you so that it doesn't happen to you or nobody else. Because the moment you allow it to fucking happen to somebody else, it's gonna circle back and can happen to you again. Because you are allowing it to happen to someone else. So when we sit here and we act like Hitler was the worst motherfucking person ever in history, Hitler was only demonized as the worst person and leader in history because they viewed it as white on white crime. They viewed it as white on white crime. You see what they did with Ukraine and Russia? You see what they did with Ukraine and Russia? But nobody bats an eye when it's Israel and it's Palestine. Nobody bats an eye when it's Congo over there being displaced. Nobody bats an eye when it's Sudan. Nobody fucking cares when it's these African countries. As a matter of fact, when these African leaders literally try to liberate their people, their leaders go missing. Their leaders get assassinated. You know how many motherfucking real ass, trill ass, good ass leaders they done killed? Libya. It's just so many places that they have taken out fucking great leaders. That's why I literally support Traore. I support him wholeheartedly. I support any fucking African country that is literally advocating for their people, and they are literally saying, fuck colonizers, fuck them, fuck Western culture. I'm gonna do what I gotta do for my people. I'm not gonna wait for your handout. My country is already rich. My country is already rich. I don't need you. What the fuck I'm working backwards for? Like, I don't need you. The reason you want to be in my country is because you want something. And that's why it's important. Y'all need to go ahead. Harvard has literally made classes for you to learn American government and politics. You need to go. It's free. Go sign up. Go learn the fucking system that you live in. Because if you don't learn the system that you live in, you're going to be thinking that you're fighting on the right side, and the whole time you're the enemy. The whole time the American government is the biggest fucking crooks known to man. Like, every war we've been in has never been because we wanted to fight a war because of disrespect or we got to show a nigga we balls. Like, it's always been because we want something. We want to gain something. If America want to get somebody back, they can get somebody back. Like, they can get somebody back without having a war. America fight wars because they want to gain something. They have something that they want to gain. And right now, the holes you did for other people is finally catching up with you. Like, literally. This is not a PSA to say that American people are going to allow any other fucking countries to come over here and take over America either. Our ancestors have put their blood, sweat, and motherfucking tears into this country. I'd be damned. I'd be damned. So that's not an invitation to show weakness that anybody else can come over here and take this shit over. But what it is it's an admission to guilt. It is a mission to guilt. It is a mission to guilt that America is one of the worst countries ever. And it doesn't represent the people. It doesn't represent the people. Matter of fact, America with 3 Ks is the worst country ever, because we're not even gonna put that on America. America was a land that probably wasn't even called America. I know some people call it Turtle Island. I haven't done enough research to know what the fuck it was called. All I know, it was a land that was free. All I know, it was a land that people inhabited and respected before white people came ashore. So what's going on over here and what's going on with our government has no reflection on the common everyday person. However, I did want to break that whole narrative that Hitler was one of the worst. No, it is some other worst people out here like our government. We just gonna lump it all with the government. The government allowed a lot of experimentation on us. As you seen what happened with CVID, like that was a worldwide experiment. Y'all just don't view it that way, but that was a worldwide experiment. America literally had federal regulations set up for shit like this, and they said fuck it. They said fuck their own rules that they came up with. They said fuck it, cause we're gonna experiment on y'all dumbasses. And I ain't changing how I said that. They said we was gonna experiment on y'all dumbasses. Whoever dumb enough to do this shit, like, we're gonna experiment on y'all. And I'm not calling y'all dumb because I really believe y'all dumb if you took whatever thing they persuaded you to take. I'm saying it in the sense of they use fear. They always use fear. Fear literally fuels their system. Fear. That's what keep you stuck in these jobs. That's what keep you stuck in these places and positions and spots in life. You're afraid. You're afraid to do or go outside of what you already know. You're afraid. So they feed you fear. They feed you fear. And that's how they get you and manipulate you into doing certain shit. I call it sucking parts of your soul or selling parts of your soul. But in all actuality, if you want to look at it in human terms, like, it's literally just manipulating you to do some shit you wouldn't normally do in another situation. If you had not all that pressure on you, if you didn't have all that fear in your head, like, you literally wouldn't participate and do what the fuck they're getting you to do. If you had hindsight 2020, you literally would have made a different decision. But because the fear was there, they were able to manipulate you and trick you. So you just gotta use your discernment in this life. Yes, what happened to the Jews are an atrocity. Yes, it was an atrocity. Yes, we all should remember. But the fuck, we shouldn't forget what the fuck happened to us. Like, why is it okay for us to forget what happened to us? Why is it okay for our history and shit to be destroyed? Why? Why is no one saying anything or no, people are saying shit. Why is no one doing anything? Why? Why are we watching this ICE collect motherfucking people and human traffic them? They're literally human trafficking them. Literally, the administration that's in charge right now is literally trying to make deals with the Rwandan government to send people from America that were allegedly illegal over to Rwanda. That's human trafficking. If I'm not from Rwanda, why would you send me to a place that I'm not from? That's human trafficking. But because y'all don't give a fuck, y'all don't see it as that shit. Human trafficking is what happened to my motherfucking ancestors that came from Africa. The ones who hadn't made their journey over here already, because I have some that was native to this land. But I also had some that was native to Africa, who hadn't stepped foot over here. That was human trafficking. They also furthermore human trafficked my ancestors that were already here. They stole children. They put them in boarding schools. They raped them. Matoka, who we call Pocahontas, and she also had another name that is slipping me right now. We called her Pocahontas from them, but Matoka literally was the chief Powhatan. Literally, that was his daughter. She was human trafficked, sex trafficked over to Europe. She was a little girl. She was a little girl. And sure, she probably would have been married off to somebody in the tribe as a little girl. I've always brought this up, that those old laws were inappropriate. They were outdated. Yes, they were. However, she should have never been sex trafficked by goddamn them. She died at an early age of fucking diseases. Diseases. And we all know who carried all the diseases. They won't tell you, but chlamydia comes from fucking sheeps. Chlamydia is naturally found in sheeps. Sound like some farmers were having a good old grand time by themselves. Fucking sheeps and passing that on. Because how do you get something that's naturally found in a sheep over to us? We have had biological warfare. We have had so many fucking things happen to us as a people. And it is time that you remember. It is time that you don't forget. It is time that you remind these motherfuckers that they don't forget. You will not let them forget. Hitler was a horrible man. Hitler was a horrible man and a very ignorant one. A very ignorant one. And it's like America is living in modern day times of this shit. Like, literally living in modern day times of it. Even though we were always, if you were black, you were always living in it. If you were native, you was always living in that genocide. You was always living in that fucking experimentation. If you were a part of the disenfranchised, you was always living in that life. It's only the ones with the white privilege, and even the ones who are literally still disenfranchised and they had to endure those things, they still have a certain amount of privilege that black people don't have. If you're white and gay, you have a certain amount of privilege that a black person don't have. So even though you hit the marker of being disenfranchised, you still have a set of privileges that we don't have. So that's what I mean by that. But I just hate that, like, that narrative is pushed that it was only Hitler going down as the worst white man in history. No, sir. Hitler is very fucking ignorant. I still, to this day, try to figure out how did y'all fall for that shit. This nigga had black hair, brown eyes, but was trying to create an Aryan race, which y'all still in languages and cultures. Like, the swastika is not even fucking y'all's. The swastika is literally Sumerian. Like, it's literally, it found in all native cultures just about. And when I say native and indigenous and aboriginal, I don't mean Native American. I mean native, period. I mean people who were originally the original people of different nations and lands. You can find that same symbol in our cultures. It just didn't stand for hate. It didn't stand for blue eyes and goddamn blonde hair. Who hurt y'all? Maybe God has sent me to ask, what was done to y'all that y'all feel like y'all gotta be so fucking fragile? That y'all gotta be the only ones around walking around this earth? What happened? Tell your story, because I'm confused. I'm confused. Have you wiped out your own reasons of why you're really doing this? Because I don't know. And sometimes I like to believe that there's no reason for it at all. Because what reason could warrant this? It damn sure wasn't done to y'all. Because y'all wouldn't exist no more. Because let's be honest, if black people wanted to mate and wipe y'all goddamn genetic coding out, we really can. But that we don't care. We don't care. So what's wrong? Who hurt y'all? And it's funny because the people that probably need to see this video won't see it. I'll be preaching to the choir that already gets it, that already know. And some probably don't know that Hitler wasn't the worst white man who should go down in history. King Leopold was one. A lot of them kings was one. I always tell people about the lizard lady who died, that queen. That lizard lady. I call her something else, but yeah, that lizard lady. Her and her family legacy is literally just all over this planet. Like, just colonized a lot of people on this planet and literally sent the motherfuckers over here. That's why the Native Americans suffer. That's why the African Americans suffer. Yeah, Britain got rid of fucking slavery before America did. However, you started this shit, bitch. And then continue to carry on that legacy in your little fucked up palace. That's why them people go down on them palaces. That shit ain't shit. Look, you can't. You can try to gather all the resources you want to on this earth. When your ass die, you gotta answer to something higher. You gotta answer to something higher. And you don't even get to take this shit with you. And you leave a shit ass legacy behind. So what was really the purpose? What was really the point? But if you want to do further research on the American government, the information is accessible. They are trying to delete shit, but there's information all over this goddamn internet that you can find on the American government. You can go buy a book, go pick up a book, do Audible, go on YouTube. There's so many other educational videos out here that literally dive deeper into shit. Research Margaret Sanger. Research her ass. Margaret Sanger. I remember the first person I learned that shit from was RZA Islam. I fuck with RZA. RZA is literally a real intellect. I love when he breaks shit down. But I literally learned about Margaret Sanger through him. I always knew something was off about Parent Parenthood. Like, I was a person who literally used Parent Parenthood. I always felt like something was off. Always felt like something was off. But that's my intuition, and that's why I tell you I have to lead with my intuition when I'm feeling something is not right. But I also have to go with logic and facts. So literally, I married the two. I married the two for me. I start with my feelings, and then I go take a deep dive into acquiring facts and information. And so literally start researching these fucking people who are leaders and controllers of this government and this land. Research them. Research their legacies. Like these presidents, ain't many of these presidents got no good ass legacies. Like I tell people all the time, Lyndon B. Johnson got one. Lyndon B. Johnson got one. I don't know how he did what the fuck he did, but he got one. And they literally destroying his legacy as we speak. They trying to dismantle that shit. They done got rid of Job Corps. Lyndon B. Johnson was responsible for that. I think. Don't quote me, but I really do think. And then also Medicare, Medicaid. He was the one pushing this. He was pushing for us to have free health care. He was pushing this. Why do people want shit to be free for everybody and accessible for everybody? That shit, it bothers me. Like, why wouldn't you want it? It makes for a better society. If you have healthier people, if you have smarter people, if you have capable people, if you have people who are, their needs are being taken, they're less likely to crash the fuck out and be doing wild, wicked shit. Like, it just makes for a better society. Why don't people want that? Why don't people want people to have access to free healthcare, free housing? And even if the housing wasn't actually completely free, let's just say maybe they help build the housing. They put in some type of sweat equity. It's a lot of ways we can come up with ways for people to have housing that is free or affordable, whatever, however society wants to spend that. I think it should be free. I think everybody should have access to free housing, education, and I mean proper. I don't mean just some fucked up shit. I don't mean setting up neighborhoods to be traps so it can fill prison systems. I mean literally great environments with love, with community, with dignity, integrity, and respect. Food should be accessible. Teach people how to grow food again. All these things should be accessible. It should be free. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of somebody being better than you? Like, that shit is crazy to me. Like, that shit is, wow. You afraid of somebody being healthy? God forbid. Oh, when people are in a more depressed state and when people are in survival mode, they're less likely to uprise. They're less likely to see the bullshit that you're doing. That's why. Oh. That might be a light bulb moment for some, but it's just like, it pisses me off. There were worse people in history than Hitler. Hitler was one of the worst ones, but there were worse people than Hitler. And it happened all across this land, all over this world. America is one of the worst. America with 3 Ks is one of the worst countries in history. And it's one of the youngest. It's one of the youngest and one of the worst. Built off lies, genocide, rape, deceit, trickery, calling motherfucking Indians Indian givers. Bitch, you a colonizer giver. I'll never say Indian giver ever fucking again. I'll never like another cowboy movie ever again. Like, not the ones where you got the Indians looking bad. The Native Americans, excuse me. Because Christopher Columbus started that Indian shit. He thought he was in India when he came over here. That's why we called Indians Indians. You had some ignorant ass white people would call them Indians. Because once again, they can't pronounce our true titles. Like, that's why I be laughing. Like, what you mean I can't be a nigga and can't be great? Like, you must, in order for you to be great, you must denounce the word nigga because you are not a nigga. Nigga, I'm a nigga. I'm a bona fide nigga. Go look at Ethiopian culture. Look at what niggas, all that shit mean. Look at what it means. Shit, I'm great. It won't never me that had a problem with greatness. It was the white man. Get too caught up on these words. That white man had couldn't say that shit right. That's what I'm gonna go with. Couldn't say that shit right. But really, what I really think it was, he intentionally wanted to say the shit wrong so that he could try to make fun of the titles that we were giving out. That's what I really think was going on. Because it's so wicked and evil, literally, they try to make fun. Well, joke's on you, bitch. We know who we are. We know who we are. We know who we are. You know who we are. That's why you fight so hard so we don't know who we are. Black people tired. Black people tired. We've been fighting for so long. And we're not tired that we can't fight. Don't get that shit twisted. That's not the tired that we are. The tired that we are is that we tired of y'all keep acting like our cause and what happened to us won't shit. That's the tired we are. So what happened to us won't shit. Like, let it happen to your ass. Because that's what's happening. That's what's happening in America. All y'all losing rights. Even the white people. They encroaching on your rights. It's all fun and games till it's at your front door, right? It's all fun and games until it's at your front door. What started happening when they started to realize like they could take any citizens? You ain't gotta be you thought it was okay because they was taking black or brown people, but they got so many goddamn other types of immigrants in this country that they don't never even fucking talk to, and they got a strong ass accent. They don't never even treat them like they immigrants. They illegal too. But because our country's so racist, don't nobody see them as illegal. You don't see them getting deported. Why the fuck they ain't deporting the white ones? But what happens when they start deporting us? And I ain't talking about us. I'm talking about y'all. When they start deporting y'all, because it was okay that this was happening. What happens when you're officially in the Handmaid's Tale and it's you who are in that situation? You ain't used to this shit. You ain't used to this shit. It's a call for people to get on the right side of history, and like, if you ain't on the right side of history, God help you. God help you. It's a call for you to get your heart together. Love is the highest frequency. Love is the highest currency. It is a call for you to get your heart together. Fuck all these things that you've been conditioned to think you need it. Fuck all that shit. It is a call for you to get your heart together. It is a call for you to demonize who actually is the demons. It is a cause for you to know who's actually the problem. There were worse people in history than Hitler. Black people, you need to act like Jewish people when it comes to life. As soon as the motherfuckers get out of line, you need to be like, let's take our funding away. We are the #1 consumers on this motherfucking planet. We are the #1 consumers on this planet. Take your motherfucking dollar back as soon as they get out of line. Starve their ass out. Starve them out. That's how you get rid of viruses and parasites. They need a host. They need a host to feed off of. They'll tell you you can't find a cure. They'll tell you you can't inoculate their ass. But it's a lie. Starve their ass out. Starve them out. Okay, K? Okay, KK. Okay? Starve their ass out. They have that history all the time. They'll make you think that we weren't fighting back against them like we were. I just learned the other day about a nigga named Tunis. And I said that with so much respect. Tunis. 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 He literally rallied against the KKK and fought them back. He literally created a black town. And they got upset. They got upset. He freed this, and he came from free people. His ancestors was free in the 1800s. They don't talk about that. There were free people walking around. Not every black person was a slave. Some people were able to get their way into freedom. So he literally came from free people. I think his mama was a school teacher. I forgot what his father was, but they were abolitionists. And he went up against the KKK. They don't like him for it. So they locked his ass up. And I forgot what else they did, but you can look him up. Look these people up. Nat Turner come from Virginia. I already know I got Nat in me. I already know I got Nat in me. Because what you mean? What you mean? What you mean? You know they ate Nat Turner. You know after they killed that nigga, they ate him. That was a practice. That was a common practice to eat people. Because they thought they could harvest their energy, their power. It was common practice to fuck people to get their power. Like, they literally would fuck a man to get his power. And I've done a video on this and talked about this. So I'm not going to go into details about it, but you can look up shit. It's out here. They used to use blood as a way to keep their skin fresh, and it's just a lot of shit that they hide from you. This shit is not myth. And myth, all myth means, myth doesn't mean that a story isn't true. Myth just means that it's a story. It's a narrative. But for years I was thinking that myth meant like that it wasn't true. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. Oh, that's just a myth. Yeah, it's a story. And there are truths in even stories that aren't all the way true. You can find a half truth in a story that isn't all the way true. So use your discernment. I even seen in modern day times where I seen a cream and it was like saying something about like they use foreskins in the cream. And I'm just like, where the fuck do you get this from? Like, how many foreskins do you collect to get this from? Like, that's odd. You just be surprised when you start going down these, like, you just start learning shit. They'll call you a conspiracy theorist when basically to be a conspiracy theorist just means that you are seeking knowledge. You're seeking basically you're conspiring to think, and that is a crime. you're basically conspiring to think. It's a crime. You're thinking of outside of the box. You're thinking outside of indoctrination. Like, they don't like when you do that. They'll call you the conspiracy theorist and think that it hurts your feelings. And it's like, at this point, we all are happy to be critical thinkers, because that's what you need to call us. We're critical thinkers. We're not just receiving information as it's given. Right or wrong, we're still challenging your social norms. That is the only thing things are going to change and evolve. That is the only way. I'm going to go ahead and head off this video. Go about my day. But yeah, that's that.